You guys saw Top Gun Maverick, right?
Nope.
I did, and I
Haven't
loved
seen it?
it.
I've only heard
It's worth it.
good things, but
It's worth it.
I don't know, man.
Are you a fan of the Top Gun franchise?
I mean,
at
I've
all?
probably seen the first one like in bits and pieces. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it.
I have it. You want to watch it?
I mean, it's probably on Netflix.
It is. But I also have it. Do you want to watch it?
How about we watch it right now, real quick? Do a quick recap.
Just a quick.
I mean,
It's probably like a quick one on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's beneficial to see Top Gun, but it's not entirely necessary.
because you know the story, even if you haven't seen it.
Well, because you get the ending of the first film with certain characters.
Yeah.
There's some resolution there, and that you're not like, I wonder what happened. You're like, did he fly in the first one? It's like, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You're caught up. You know what I mean? Like,
Did he fly in the first one?
like there's no him and Han about that. You know what the movie's about.
Do you think it's a movie that has maybe like resurrected the movie theater experience? It
Fuck,
seems
I
like
hope so. Yeah, I
it
think
seems
it
like
has.
that's
It
like
really seems like
because
it.
there's that, and then
Yeah.
Nope. That's like a big movie people are
Yeah.
talking about now. Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, I liked it. I wasn't a fan of his second film. I wasn't a fan of Us.
Us.
Yeah.
Me either. Get Out. Fucking great.
I liked
Love
both of
Get
them.
Out. Us was a little weird.
Yeah. And I didn't like it because it was weird. You know what I felt like Us was like? He had a really good idea because he's a very messagey filmmaker. Like, he's very layered. Like, and you need context. You need to really pay attention. He gives like lots of clues throughout his films. I like that about him. But I feel like Us was like, you had something you really wanted to say, and I don't think I got it.
What was the plot again? If you
Basically, carbon copies, of
them,
Us.
and they like take over them and
Yeah.
or
and-
not take over them, but they're like living.
They
amongst
become
them.
like the main copy.
Yeah.
And, then send you down to the upside down.
But like, is the question like what happens? Like, is for every one of us? Is there another version? Like, I really don't. I only saw the movie once, and I was like, I don't really care to see it again. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what I was supposed to take from it. It felt like if I have to get out a fucking decoder ring, and start searching the internet to find out what you said,
You didn't say it right.
then you might. I just don't think you got
What'd you
it.
think of Nope? Did you feel that way about Nope?
No, Nope was pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
fun, blockbuster, sci-fi, thriller. That the message is clear in that movie, So and there is one for sure, but it's
I'll definitely see it.
It's
I mean,
good.
it'll come to HBO Max probably or something at some point.
yeah,
Right?
it's good. Nope is a lot of fun, great writing, great characters, just kind of a thrill ride. It's cool. Totally recommend it.
I feel like you don't see many first-time directors like that hit it off with their first one,
Yeah.
and then just kind of have these like his movies,
Yeah.
like them, like people have heard of him. Like it's kind of crazy that like the Key and Peele guy,
Yeah,
is like this kind of big next up and coming, like maybe not even next up and coming, maybe he's here, like this
he's here.
great, quote unquote, great filmaker.
Yeah, I mean
director, writer.
he's here. I mean that Get Out kind of solidified him as won an Oscar, screenplay for writing, and then for as far as directing goes, that movie was like, that's your first movie? Okay, it was fucking awesome. It was incredible, but like he had. I think for most first-time filmmakers, he had a unique situation. He had a script that was not something that I had seen. There was a story he was trying to tell was eerie, creepy, and definitely, had a race component, which he did a very good job of like laying that out, not politically, but sort of historically, right? And I thought that was fucking awesome. Yeah. And then with Us, it was like there's still that sort of, the message is there, but it's just kind of hard to kind of comprehend, at least for me, which had me check out a little bit in terms of I'm just going to watch what's on screen. I'm not going to think about like anything in between the lines. And then Nope was like fucking Spielbergian,
Straightforward.
yeah, like Close Encounters with like Independence Day with a little bit of horror. And
Seems like people are like kind of waiting for him to like make his next movie. Like, what's his next one gonna be?
And his budgets are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I took my daughter to see it and she loved it.
Yeah, I don't think. And you could probably talk to this more. A bigger budget, I don't think makes a better movie though. There's been a few, at least. Okay, I know I've like beat this with a dead horse, at least with you and like with other people on the podcast.
Are you gonna say Avatar?
No, I was gonna say Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Perfect fucking example of like the budget got way fucking bigger, the show got worse. Like
I don't watch it.
You don't watch it?
No, but I mean, I appreciate this conversation.
This new season was like the most over the top, shiny, fucking like
million explosions.
Just like there was like the scene with like this helicopter explosion, which even the way the helicopter explosion happened was like, all right, guess we're here. Like the guards have been down in the thing the entire time and they just now come out after it's done. All right, whatever, I can buy that. It's like the 80s, like maybe they're stupid. And then it happens and it's just like this slow motion, like shot at her, it's just like over the top. And then there's like 4 different storylines that are like just every scene is at like a fucking 10. It seems like everything was at a 10, which like is cool visually, I guess, but not to like, again, belabor the point. But
yeah, I
think just like it was clear, like the budget just got bigger, and like that's pretty much all that was focused on. It seemed like the aesthetics of it came first,
right?
And like the having maybe for me like just like the core of like the kids together like fighting this thing was like totally lost on me. I was just like, all right, this is whatever. But
yeah, I wish I could be caught up. I'm not,
people fucking love it, man. People fucking love Stranger Things, and I like it a lot. I do. Like, I think it's a really cool show. I think if you want to watch a show, like, Stranger Things is a pretty good show to watch. You can binge the whole thing. The first season is really fucking good. First season's great. Second season, it just progressively just got weirder and not as good, and especially this last season. It was like, for me, it was like, just didn't do it for me. And then I made the mistake of like, all right, I want to listen to a podcast as some people talk about this, right? Yeah. So I like found a podcast of these people that talk about like TV shows and stuff. It's these 2 chicks, and of course they're just drooling all over the show, and I'm like, oh, so this is like what it's like on the other side for if somebody was asking me about like Ozark or something, right? Like I just couldn't talk bad about it. I couldn't say anything negative. I mean, they said some negative stuff, but I guess it was interesting just listening to them like love the show, and I'm like, people just really like it and dig the corny dialogue and like the corny like teen and like the fucking like, dude, the teenagers in the show are the meanest people on planet Earth. Like
teenagers do suck,
dude. Not like this. It's like, we're all gonna laugh at you and stand in a circle and go like a fucking music video or something.
Yeah,
that's literally no, literally. There's like a scene at like a roller rink where they're all like laughing at her, and it's like, oh, am I watching a kids movie? Like I don't know, whatever. I'll get off my soapbox.
No, that's super interesting because I usually hear the inverse of that. Obviously, that it's an amazing show, that it's like it's insanely good. The new season is fucking gangbusters, and they can't wait for the next half or whatever. I've only watched the first season, and I thought it was cool. I was like, that's a cool show.
I'm jealous of you.
And then I stopped.
You get to have the mystery.
Yeah, and then sort of like once you got to like the Demogorgon like introduction of that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then life got busy, whatever, and now they're like on season 50 or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
51. Yeah,
yeah, whatever the fuck it is now.
Part 2.
They're splitting seasons now because it's so big, So I was like, I don't know if like everybody keeps saying you should watch it, but I don't know if I'm as interested as I was when I could watch like Ozark. I could finish watching Ozark, which is like, how in the fuck can you make a show get better and better and better? That show's phenomenal.
And it's got to be fucking hard writing a TV show.
Oh,
I mean, to make a TV show, like I would say Ozark is in the echelon of like really great TV.
Yeah,
like
absolutely,
really great. Loved it from beginning to end. And it's got to be fucking hard. Like it makes me wonder, like on Stranger Things, for instance, did they like do season 1 and then they like get picked up for season 2?
They're like,
and then they're
just
like, and then they're like writing their ass off on season 2, and then they're like, we're gonna pick you up for a 3rd season. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh fuck, now we gotta take it up, and then a 4th, and then a 5th, and it just like this thing is like too big to handle. Like I literally don't know what else they're going to surprise us with.
Are you gonna watch the next season?
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure. I'm already 4 seasons invested.
I've invested the time.
Yeah,
but it's like,
you too?
No, I haven't watched any of it.
Which is it's surprising they haven't watched any of it. It's just like when it first came out, it was like, the thing to watch, and then COVID, right? Like everybody just binged it, but
Yeah,
it's got to be tough, man. Like I don't. Would you?
We just don't really watch a ton of TV, is all.
Yeah.
It's harder. Like I think we've talked about this before, but like for me, TV is much harder than like putting a film on.
I much prefer movies.
Yeah, because I like being like I like the finality of like I watch the movie, I'm done. Like I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait because TV is the TV 101 is hook you, cliffhanger till we're done.
Yeah.
Like and then we resolve something. And
maybe.
Maybe right unless if it's
Lost.
Then
which is my favorite TV show.
Which really, if I hadn't fucking known that that's how you're gonna feel when it's over, I'd have been like, oh, okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like and that's sort of what happened with another great example is Westworld.
Westworld.
So,
I've heard good things about Westworld.
Yeah, so the first season's so good. Second season is like, are we just starting over and just making things up? Like nothing is paying off from what we saw before, and that feels earned. It's just sort of like we have to figure out how to make this weirder, and you don't know where things are going. And then the third season is the same way, and then you're like, oh, this is
how this is gonna be.
This is how he makes shows. Like
you just have to keep ramping it up.
Yeah.
You have to keep. It's almost like it's sports. Like when you sign like a 1-year deal, and it's like, all right, you better fucking prove yourself to get that second, and you just like. You might be better off just being like, all right, cool. We're gonna give you 3 seasons.
Yeah,
make this shit great. Like, make it amazing.
It's a problem I have. It's a problem I have with TV shows. Not that Lost and Westworld are bad, but when a show's whole purpose is to disorient you, sort of confuse you, like it's sort of like, where's the plot? Where's the plot? Find the plot. Yeah. And it's like there's no
10 of them.
Yeah, there's no fucking plot. It's just a bunch of. It's very visual. And yet people walk around that are disconnected, and the story is sort of whatever you make of it.
That's the thing with Lost is the plot was let's get off the island, and then their plot is let's go back to the island. You're like, wait, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, I mean,
what are we doing?
Is that even really is that really the plot, or is that like the premise? Because it's like, to me, it's like, the premise sort of drives the plot, which is like, let's get off the island, and then it's just about how they're going to do it, but they actually don't, and nothing actually...
Right.
It's like you get into dreams. You don't know what the fuck is real. I couldn't do it.
Time traveling and shit, yeah.
I literally felt lost.
I'm with you. I really liked Lost.
I loved it.
A lot.
I have a
fucking poster
of
it.
Times.
No, it's not slagging it. I'm just saying
I think it's a really dope show, but I think, once they start, like, side traveling into, like, the alternate... thing,
and
right?
That was like season 2. Like that was early.
Is it that early that they started doing that? Yeah, but when Lost is cool.
Comes in, yeah.
Another show that I'm telling fucking everybody about that I'm watching right now is Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah,
and I'm late to that. Have you seen?
I haven't, but
same.
You might be able to convince me that's worth just getting in on it, because everybody's tried to, and I'm just like, yeah, but isn't it like 1,000 episodes in like 2 years of my life?
So it's
like an hour and a half a piece.
It's 8 seasons, like 10 episodes a season, an hour each. So like, what is that? Like 80 hours of.
It just seems like a lot of swords.
2 work weeks.
Yeah, swords, capes, skulls, and snow is what it looked, and maybe some dragons and some light nudity.
All right, well maybe you don't need to watch it then.
But I have heard it's amazing.
I heard there's a real bloody wedding or something.
Red wedding. Yeah.
I
heard about it.
Yeah, we just watched that.
Is it crazy?
That's what people say.
So when you asked me about this at the gym, you're like, "Am I missing out?" And I was like, "Probably not." And then
now I'm
at the
out?
end of season 3, the second to last episode of season 3 is this red wedding.
Yeah.
And I was like, the fucking balls on these people that are writing this show. I looked at Andrea and I was like, I cannot believe they just. I literally cannot believe they just did this. Like, what are they gonna like? It's
how do you top this?
It is insane. Like it took us a whole season to get into it. I'm not gonna lie. It's
a long con.
It's a long con because if there's a spectrum of like TV show A will walk you through the plot and characters and relation to the story, and then there's like Game of Thrones on this side where it's like you're just dropped in here, fucking figure it out.
Right.
Like.
It's like homework,
dude. Like even now, like plenty of characters have died, many storylines have died. I'm still like, wait, is that the king from the first season's brother? Because he said that this guy is his bastard son. So what does that make him? Like you're having to do this all fucking real time.
Yeah.
And then all the while you're like, oh, you have to have the subtitles on because they speak in this like crazy, they all have like different British accents and they all vary. And
Isn't
it's
there
like,
their own like language too?
there's the Dothraki, yeah. Yeah, I know, I'm in it, dude. Yeah, the Dothraki. It's pretty good. And I'm surprised Andrea's into it. And like, I feel totally fucking late to the party, but I'm glad I was late because now we can binge it. But like, it's pretty good. And I thought it was going to be, and again, we haven't gotten there yet and you guys haven't seen it, so you won't spoil it for me. I don't know if there's like magic and stuff involved because right now there's like a little bit of like this kind of aura of like a god type, that kind of stuff. But if once people start casting spells, I'm out. If fucking Ron Weasley shows up and starts like hitting everybody with spells, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
He's not even good at the spells either.
But it's again, the balls to just like kill off main characters is like nothing I've ever fucking seen.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that is a kind of a no holds barred, sort of show. Like they just kind of it's like it's a match.
It's like
you don't know what's going to happen when, and nothing's precious.
It like every scene I get anxious while I'm watching it because like they will literally just be doing nothing and then like a main person will just literally just like, oh, your arm's cut off and now your head's cut off. Like that's it. And you're like, and like no music build up, no fucking anything. It just fucking happens. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like wait, and then you start going like, wait, but like the guy's going here to find him and he's dead, but he doesn't know it yet. And you're like, oh fuck.
You're like having to pause it and pull out your chart and you're like, this guy.
Oh, and to make dude. So the start of season 4, one of the characters just changed actors.
What?
Yeah.
What? Do you know why? Like what happened?
Andrea tried to look it up, and apparently this other actor got like a bigger role.
Weird.
Never seen the guy that played. He was in like 2 episodes, and he's like a pretty main-ish side character. And then all of a sudden, it's like this. It was like some blonde hair, blue eyed, and it's some like brown hair, brown eyed guy. I'm like,
hold on,
wait, that's the same. I'm not crazy, right? So we paused it. We looked it up. It's like, oh, you had to change actors. I'm like, as if the show wasn't fucking hard enough. Now I gotta.
That's unusual to do it so
weird.
Yeah, when it's so established, because you would think that like I know my schedule with the show.
Yeah.
And unless these guys,
I wonder if he comes like if he makes another appearance like
later. That'd be
they switch back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they know sometimes though. Like they're given their lines, and they don't know the story.
It sounds like they don't even know when they're gonna die in this show.
Which would make sense because in a show like that, I know that.
It's like, I thought I was gonna get killed last season.
I'm aware that people were like nuts over the show, and especially when it was on, and you would hear like Twitter would just be on fire because people are like, I can't believe they did that. And it's like for me, I'm like, sure. I mean, I bet that's crazy, But
well, I had the same feelings that you did. I'm like, but it's like knights and stuff like that.
My thought is it gonna be better in Braveheart? Because Braveheart's pretty great.
I mean, I think it's just not Braveheart.
I think if
that's the thing.
I think if you could make it,
in my head, I'm thinking like it's not better than that. Like,
I'd say if you could make it like to the end of the first season, if you're not hooked, just stop. Yeah. Because the end of the first season, thank God we're not watching it live because I'd be fucking pissed if I had to wait like another year to watch it, sort of like Severance. But
So I am gonna watch that. I am. It's
he told me forever, and I was like, I'll get to it. I watched it. I was like, I can't stop watching it. I need more.
Yeah, like I am gonna watch that because I know
it's
about
so
I know about it, and like the concept I'm super into. But like for me that's part of why I haven't seen Game of Thrones is commitment to like I know how my brain's gonna work, right? Like if I'm teased with something, especially if it's bingeable or bingeable. If it's bingeable, like I know that I'm going to binge
you're
it,
gonna want to,
and I'm in my day. It's over. Like
I watched the season 1 in 3 days.
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom,
and it's just a movie or a show that I wasn't excited about until like it dropped was like Terminal List. Like I watched that in like 2 days. Like
that's a limited series, though, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean,
Amazon.
It's Prime, which I don't watch anything on Prime because it's just not.
We were talking about that at work the other day. Talking about this show. Is it good?
I mean, I'm not like I'm not like watch every military thing ever. I like Chris Pratt. Like I admit it. Like I do. I think he's.
There's nothing wrong with Chris
You know,
Pratt.
I mean, like,
Other than all the Jurassic World movies.
but even those,
the second and third. First one was fine.
I like I don't give a shit who Chris Pratt worships or any of that stuff. I don't care.
Doesn't matter,
I like
yeah.
Chris Pratt I like his performance. That's what I'm into. But I don't really. I mean, like, it's not a show I think I would watch. And I couldn't stop. I was just like, I just want to know
Really?
what happens next, because it's not. It's a Navy SEAL show, but it's a revenge show. But it's also got a lot of like.
Because it's after he's already like discharged from the military, right?
Yeah, it's so much more. No, there's so much more to it than that. Like, there's a whole psychological element to how he's feeling, the PTSD aspect to it. But you want to watch it to figure out what's actually going on with him.
I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast where they interviewed. This is all clicking now about the guy who this is like based on, or
Who wrote the book?
or who wrote the book?
who wrote
Yeah,
the
yeah,
book.
the Navy SEAL who wrote the
Yeah.
book.
Right.
That's now it's like all clicking. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this sounds familiar. Like
Yeah.
really fucking familiar.
I listened to the Chris Pratt podcast on
Smartless.
and
Yeah.
he talked about it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I knew it was a book.
Yeah, I like the dude. I think he's hilarious. And, another thing that got me interested was, like, I want to see how he does, like, where he's the star, he's the Navy SEAL. Like, can he do this leading man thing? And can he be gruff as shit and pull it off? And I think he does. Like, it's also super brutal, but it's just got this element of, there's a psychological component that is something you don't see in these types of films or in these types of shows in this genre than the war action space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really enjoyed that. And I just fucking blew through it. I couldn't stop. And I know that's part of what
Is it
happens.
It's a limited series?
I
or
think
is there like season 2? coming out?
No, I think there will be, because it's pretty fucking good. And
So if there's enough hype, they'll make another one.
yeah, I mean, and so when you watch it, you're like, yeah, they totally could. But
I'm sure they leave the door open to it just in case.
you don't close a door with an actor like him,
Right.
I mean, like, unless it was like James Bond or something where it's like, doesn't matter who's next, because but it's not that.
Right.
And it's also a very personal story. That's what I loved about it.
Okay.
Like, like revenge, there's a lot of aspects of revenge. Like, Liam Neeson's revenge is sort of like, well, yeah, I mean, any dad would do that, right? But
Right.
you have to be like special, like a specially trained fucking guy to go and actually do
Pull
the
it
taken
off.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's believable with Chris Pratt, because this guy is a fucking special operator, Navy SEAL, elite, like, commander. So you're like,
He is the guy.
it's pretty possible if he wanted to murder you,
He would do it.
he knows how to
Maybe
do it.
good.
And that's what's cool. It's kind of a slasher movie in that sense. He just has a list and he's just fucking going down it. But it's great. I highly recommend it, and it's not anything, there's nothing heady about it. Like,
I might have to give it a try.
it's good,
give it a
especially
try.
if you're into that. It's good action.
Staying on the action adventure genre,
Mm-hmm.
what do we have to do to get more Tom Clancy movies, TV shows, like to the amount that there are 007s? Because they're better.
I mean, doesn't he have quite a bit?
Isn't Jack
doesn't he-
Reacher one of them?
Doesn't he have
Jack
like
Reacher.
1,000 video games too?
Is Jack
Yeah, they're all
Ryan?
video games.
Yeah, like you
The
just
video
want
games were first.
You want movies?
Well, actually, the books were first.
Yeah.
I want movies and TV shows because Jack Reacher's great, but the last season came out.
Which
2
one
years
was the
ago.
one with John Krasinski? Jack Reacher?
Jack Reacher is
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
the one with
Jack
John Krasinski is Jack Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I watched one episode and I obviously didn't finish it, so
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't in love with it.
It's
but
really good, but
Yeah.
like Without Remorse, that's Tom Clancy with Michael B. Jordan. Awesome. The only ones that sucked were with, I think it was Chris Pine, because Chris Pine sucks. But
Yeah, what a weird guy,
act-
actor,
Yeah.
Chris Pine. Though, yeah, weird casting because it's like he's handsome, he's kind of buff, he's kind of tall. He like, can he act? Yeah, but he seems like he's kind of just vanilla. It's like, I don't know, like light version of insert action actor here. I don't know. Like,
yeah, no, I totally
You know what I
get
mean?
it.
Sorry,
I'm
I didn't mean to
totally
cut
with
you off.
No, you're good.
But it's an interesting point though that you're making, because we were just texting yesterday about The
Yeah.
Gray Man. Have you seen this?
no.
Netflix big spectacle movie. The movie that it could essentially just make Netflix irrelevant because they'll never make the money back.
For real.
Yeah, it's like
Why? How much did it
$200+
cost?
million fucking net.
But it was really cool.
Yeah, that was in the like it. the telltale sign for me was like they put it in the theater for a week. Which was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which was like, let's get a head start in case we don't get enough subscribers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't see it in the theater. I wanted to go see it, but I was like, it's going to be at home, and shit going on. So, like Ryan Gosling, like he's done some action stuff, and I'm like, I like him. But even though I didn't like love the movie and think it was amazing, I still kind of like, I like action Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
I kind of like him. He reminds me of Harrison Ford.
He does well in the role.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'd want to meet him. Like,
No?
because he might just be like, I want to talk shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you liked the movie. The movie was good.
Yeah. The movie's-
It's on Netflix.
I would say it's...
And it wasn't ridiculously long.
No, that was a saving grace, but
Yeah.
it's a ridiculous movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, and it sets up its own world. To me, it's honestly, it's basically James Bond.
right.
Like a not budget, but a knockoff James Bond. And it plays like a Marvel movie. It's the Russo brothers. Like, they did pretty much the like 4 biggest Marvel movies.
Huh.
So
It's definitely over the top.
yeah,
Did
spectacle.
have you seen Spiderhead on Netflix?
No, I have not. Is that good?
I don't know.
Oh, because I know about it,
It was
but I want to see
well,
it.
you know, Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
He plays a scientist.
Yeah, I want to see it though.
Why the fuck did you get some dude that can bench 400 pounds playing a fucking scientist?
I think it's honestly because he can choose his roles and he's like, I want to do this.
I don't remember what the movie was called, but he was in it, Hemsworth, and he was like a journalist.
Was it Black Hat?
No.
He breaks
'Cause that
the
was like a-
pencil. He's so fucking jacked. It's just like there's not enough white cloak to cover up your biceps, bro. Like, I'm sorry, you don't have time to create like a revolutionary drug and then also work out, do 2 a days and fast, bro. Like, you just don't have that time. Not believable.
Wasn't Banner though? Like, he was a scientist, and now
Yeah.
he's the Hulk. So
Yeah, I mean,
you're like, that's different.
How dare you?
he's in that movie on Netflix also, like is it Extraction or something? Or
Yeah, that movie. I watched half of it and I turned it off. It wasn't good.
it wasn't good.
No.
I didn't see it either. But I was kind of curious if he could hold that.
But I did like Miles Teller in Spiderhead.
Miles Teller's good in anything.
I actually did like it, and I like the concept. Like, the concept is.
I wanna
it's a-
see it.
It's a cool concept. I won't give anything away,
Yeah.
but this guy has But
I definitely want to see that. Netflix is weird because when they have these Netflix only films that come out, you just like, part of you is like, oh, I mean, I have so long to watch this.
yes, you just
know?
put it on like the infinite back
Yeah,
burner.
because I'm a member.
Exactly.
You know? I have the.
You do you like
membership.
add stuff to your list?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I had like 4 things a day.
I started. I used to not do it, and then I started to do it, and it's actually really helpful because it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, I would never have come back to watch movie whatever.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly. The
You're right, dude.
a mic
Attack
there,
of the
homie.
mic.
My ear itched. I don't want to end up like him.
Right.
yeah, but dude, I know. Sorry, not to bring it back to Game of Thrones. Like, I don't think we're gonna be watching anything else until we're done, and I cannot wait to get to the last episode of
sense.
season 8 and see what everybody's pissed off.
I was
about.
saying, I've heard
Like,
it's
that's what
terrible.
I'm most excited about. Okay, this comes back to like TV shows that like have closure at the end or like have a good ending. What show are we fucking talking about that had a shitty ending? I can't remember, but I was talking about like the Sopranos.
Yeah.
Why is the Sopranos still like a fucking household name? A, because it's probably, I haven't seen it. I've seen like the first season ish.
You have not watched The Sopranos?
I haven't at all.
Oh.
It's from what I've heard, it's a fucking great show. Everybody talks about the ending. Like, it was Ozark. It was Ozark because
Oh, yeah.
the end of season 3 on Ozark, I was like, just be done. Like, let it be done. Season 4 was great. I'm not putting it down.
Have you finished Ozark yet?
I have the second half
But,
of the last.
But like after season 3, I was like, it would be kind of cool if they just were like,
That's
that's
that.
it.
That's it.
And I fucking love that.
I can see that.
But it's like, now you gotta like come back and like it. Obviously, I'm gonna watch it, but fuck, what was I talking about?
The closing.
Oh, like Game of Thrones, right? It's like, yeah, everybody hated it, and I can't wait to find out. But it's like, that's kind of the lore of the show now. Like, you
Yeah.
have to stay relevant. And now they're making this weird spin-off show, which is actually kind of
It's like a prequel, isn't
like
it?
funny timing that we started watching it, and they're making a spin-off prequel to Game of Thrones.
Oh,
But
you're right in time now.
but but yeah, I think shows like just need to do that more often. Like, I really hope Severance like kind of fucks us and like doesn't give us the closure. Like, I like that. I
So-
like the
You, you know that The Sopranos, the very last episode, that there's controversy. So you already know that.
That just it goes to black.
Right. And I remember when I was watching it, right? And artistically, I got it once I knew, but I swear to God, and you can even ask my wife, I went, oh my God, the fucking cable went out.
Oh shit.
That's what happened. That's actually what I did.
Yeah.
And then when I realized
Then there were credits.
how brilliant though it was.
Yeah.
That it really took you into the character's actual final moment. It was perspective. And I was like, this is like David Chase. I think it was a very ballsy thing to do with like people who have put
a lot of time
in characters that were honestly some of the best written characters in my lifetime in TV. I think it's one of the best shows ever. Next to Big Love and 6 Feet Under. I think those are some of the best shows ever and had some of the best endings ever. However, this was like such a great ending, and I understand people are going to hate it and they fucking don't like what happens. But when you think about how else would you communicate the end in a way that says murder or assassination or hit? Mm-hmm. Like you could show it, but that's just so that's just so like final. Like that's it. Our lens to the world through Tony is over because he's dead. That's how I took it. But at first, I thought the cable went out. So I kind of understand both sides, but I've come to the conclusion that it's just a brilliant decision.
It's just made the show cemented in pop culture. Like everybody's gonna talk about Sopranos. Everybody's gonna talk about Game of Thrones and how
love or hate it. Yeah,
shittier it is. It's like, although if I get to season 8 and it's actually bad, then I'm gonna be pissed. But if it's bad because the ending sucked, then I'm gonna be into it. So
yeah, there could be that. You have a long way to go, right? Don't you have like?
I got half the show left. We're almost done with season 4.
Okay, well that's good. You got some work to do.
Yeah, I got some work to do.
I mean, I can only imagine that like seriously sitting down and going, okay,
this is the bad one.
8. No, like I got 8 seasons ahead of me. It's fucking nuts.
It is. Yeah, and it's such a not genre show that I thought I would be into again. Like like Andrea's into it.
That's cool.
That surprises me.
She's fallen asleep a couple of times, and then she's asked me to recap her, and I'm like, the recap's up right now. Take this what you will. I have no idea how to explain fucking anything.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? Remember, like they were they were in the thing, and then the lady was listening, and then she's gonna go tell the handmaiden, who's gonna tell the queen. Like, I must have been asleep for that. Like, I don't even know if that's really what happened. I'm just kind of fucking spitballing.
I'm making this up as I go.
The cool part about that show is like the time that it's set. They can just drop in characters without really any like
introduction,
because it's like, oh, these people are going through the woods, and like, oh, there's this like rebel tribe that like fucking just kills them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's believable. Like, I don't have to know why. Or like, oh, they're traveling, it's 60 miles. It's like, yeah, they could cut away and then 2 episodes later come back and you're like, oh yeah, they just got there. They're not driving in a car and you're like, wow, why did it take you 2 days to get to fucking Sacramento? Like, it's like it sucks you into this world of like, I believe what's happening for the most part.
Yeah, like, and you start to develop like in-world rules.
Mm-hmm. And then they destroy them and they kill them.
Yeah, so like I imagine that's got to be interesting. But the one thing that kind of turned me off from that show is my wife watched all of them.
Oh,
she was hooked, glued. She really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the show. I mean, I remember when the red wedding thing happened. Like she was like,
yeah,
and I was like, what does that mean? What's your face mean? Like, what's happening?
Nuts. It's like, yeah.
So she was super into it, but. It's not something that like she watched it on. God help her. I think she watched most of it on her phone, which just should be illegal. But
I watch it with half an ear, so I'm hearing all the bass.
You know, like it's just I've only like had to do that like once or twice. You know, like
on a plane.
Yeah, like when you're like I have to watch. I have to finish where I was, and it sucks to watch. No matter what kind of display you give me, and I don't give a fuck how great the audio is. Watching it on a fucking 6.5-inch. Screen is just where's the immersion? Jesus, it's like fucking nothing. So that bugs me, but she was into it, and I guess I probably had my shot of watching it with her. Because I don't think she'd watch it again.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, I don't see Sam watching the show, so I mean,
Game of Thrones?
I don't know. Well, because Emily,
I really like the medieval
like,
stuff. I just don't know if I have 8 seasons in me.
Yeah,
Like I love Braveheart, Last Samurai, Patriot. Like, I love those movies.
It would be interesting for you to like give like 2 or 3 episodes, like give it a try, see if you like it. Because if you can, because it's like it's so in your face gruesome and so in your face, like, wow, they are doing really fucked up shit.
But this seems like
showing it, like they're fucking showing it.
I could be wrong, but like Braveheart isn't fantasy. This seems like it is fantastical without magic so far, but
so far
it does seem like there's a fantastical element of mythology. You know, whereas Braveheart is a recount of William Wallace history. Yeah, like, and you know, and then you've got
all those movies that I mentioned.
And you've got Mel Gibson, like, who also just kind of like, you know, takes it up a notch into like this
different stratosphere. Yeah,
but like this show has Sean Bean, and doesn't he die like immediately?
Who's Sean Bean?
I don't know. He's one of the fucking. I just know he's in the show.
I don't know.
He's probably one of the many people that just get killed, mid sentence.
The odds, the odds of you being cast in the show and dying are pretty high. So.
Yeah, so there's probably one of those guys.
Yeah,
and you know it's like that.
Probably in something else booked too.
Probably they just replace you.
Like you're like, yeah, I'm going on fucking Thrones, gonna get killed. Yes, you know. Like,
oh wait,
yeah. I mean, probably not a good. It's like, wow, I don't know. Like, is that a good career move or not?
It's a ballsy one,
you know. Going on that show.
Oh,
like, yeah.
What would you do? I mean, I guess better to do than not, but I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're an actor, you're like,
if you're one of the lucky ones that last 8 seasons, man.
Yeah. I mean, are there characters that are not died? I mean, sure there are, right?
From episode 1?
There's 1 or 2.
What?
Maybe 3. There might be 3.
Sadistic. Fuck.
Okay. 3 like main.
Okay.
There's the side characters, but like
we don't care about
the 3 was like
10.
Probably close to like 8. Probably close to 8.
That's brutal, dude.
Like,
don't get attached.
Yeah.
I will end my Game of Thrones on this. Like, they do like 2 things. They develop characters very well, even though it's hard to follow.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue and the way they develop, they make you feel about the characters and like their actions and the stuff that they say, like really makes you feel for them.
Right.
And then they kill them. And there's one character, one of the kings, is like the fucking most hated character I've ever hated more on a TV show. Like, can't, like, hands down. Like, they make you fucking hate this character.
So you're just waiting for it.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
He's a trooper, though.
He is like, he's the worst. And they just like keep doubling down. It's like, just when you thought he's bad, it's like,
yeah,
he's worse.
He's gonna go kill babies. Like, fucking cool. Like, all right, I already hated this guy, and he's gonna just do. It's wacky. It's wacky.
Do you have like to go and watch something?
Do I
that
masturbate to it? Yes. Well,
whoa,
that's what I was wondering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, just come out and say it.
He gets like a tiny little sword and places it here, and a little shield here, and just goes to town.
Yep.
I wanted like when you're watching something that's so like violent and you know just
over the top
and fantastical. Yeah. Does it like it doesn't with me, but does it like take you a while to kind of like get out of that when you watch something like in the real world because there's so much negative shit and you know is that really like is that an escape for you?
Sort of, but now I'm like slipping back into. I went and spent $30 on an Xbox 360 controller just to play Skyrim on my old Xbox 360 because I was watching Game of Thrones and I was like, I really want to play Skyrim.
There you go.
So I've like got my old Xbox out and I lost my controller and it's set up downstairs. I played it today.
Nice.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna go buy a fucking sword, dude. I'm gonna start citizens cutting people's head off, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, you cut me off in traffic. I'm gonna cut off your fucking face.
We needed that today at the gym.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's, I mean, the people out there today, like going to your house. I was turning left at the light, and then you got like fucking Gray Bunny or Snow Bunny or fucking Loon. You're like animal names, right?
Like children's book
names.
names.
And so I put my blinker on to go into the turn lane to turn into your place. And these people just fucking lay on it. Like just lay on it, like meh.
Lay on the horn?
Yeah, and then I'm like,
At you?
I'm like, I'm turning at my blinker on, like I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
And then they like,
Guess I'm
We
an
don't use
asshole.
blinkers here.
but they're driving super fast, and they go into that little gated community
On the right?
far in the back. Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, gated person. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like I shouldn't be driving.
We
your
are
way at
better.
all. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
But then
You're above us.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
then I'm like,
well, our gate doesn't really work.
yeah,
so-
that was like I'm about to go in a gate, and then I was like, well, that makes sense. Sam's gate's open.
Yeah.
Their gate's closed. They're definitely
They're the lizard
yeah,
people.
they feel like superior.
Yeah.
We are inferior. There's only one side over here open. I was like, it just the gall of people. Like I don't like what the fuck. Like just honking, just getting crazy. I was just turning, and it was in their way though. They wanted to go faster than me, but I had
your
to
fault.
maneuver to the left to turn.
So I had to slow down a bit.
Yeah, so I was in their way.
Yeah.
But that's just like one of the many things I've noticed, and I think taking a sword to people's heads is not a bad idea.
Maybe not a bad idea.
No.
It's definitely not the worst idea.
What it has made me think about a lot more than usual is how savage people back then were.
Right.
And I'm not saying this is like a documentary. Obviously it's not. But like from what we've all heard about medieval times, like people like would fucking torture you and rape your women and children and saying you were a slave. Like
Prima Nocta, dude.
just people. I mean,
There he goes with Braveheart.
Imagine all of the shit that has happened to people in history that's like not documented.
Yeah.
Because even the stuff that's documented is like maybe through the lens of somebody that didn't see it right or hear it right or heard it from somebody else who heard it from somebody else who heard it from somebody else who read it in a book.
Right.
Like it just makes me think like, God damn, we're like so fucking lucky to be alive right
now.
Like not only like now, but like we could be like in North Korea. It could be like way fucking worse or be in some.
Guys, we've already won the lottery.
Exactly.
Born in the U.S. of A.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, just cue the Springsteen.
Sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yeah. No shit. Well, you know what's fucked up though is to think about here you are on your wedding night or just hanging out with your wife or your girlfriend, and knock on the door and they're like, "We're gonna borrow her." And you're like, "Ugh, what the? No, this is a horrible time period to live in." But that shit happened, and how do you not turn that into like a 14th, 15th century Liam Neeson movie?
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like,
You got to.
He doesn't do those.
no, I know, but like he did Rob Roy, but
Yeah.
but you have to be like, I get it. Like that is one aspect of the horrible nature of
People.
people then.
Humans, yeah.
And I do think that don't let evolution fool you. In that if nobody was looking or made an issue of it, shit like that would still be going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
100%.
because you know what? Like even the founding fathers knew like, well, these fuckers in the future are going to be just as fucked. They're going to be horrible people just like us. It's all going to be bad. So let's put in some shit that makes sense.
Guidelines.
Yeah, and then they'll totally, they'll interpret the stuff that makes sense to them. They'll lie about the other stuff. We know they're horrible.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and then just, it's going to be
They'll leave it at that.
yeah, and then you're just going to kind of go like, wow, they really knew that people are predictable.
Yeah.
100%.
We all have like this fucking like lizard brain in us. Like
Yeah.
if all of a sudden
Especially if your gate works.
if your gate works,
Watch out.
Yep.
like what if the fucking power all of a sudden the power grid shut down?
What do we do?
Fucking fear.
Yeah,
man.
what do you do? Like
You look out the window, make sure you're not in Texas.
like
and
all
then, then you go, okay,
like
great.
all of a sudden you're just like back to square one. Everything you've saved, every picture you've had, like a solar flare, like wiped, like all your hard drives, fucking useless. Like everything, like this when they make shit, when they like make rockets or like solve trigonometry, it's all in a fucking computer. They don't write it down in books anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Like what if that all went down? Like
Yeah.
what's that library of something?
Congress.
No. Fucking idiot. There's like an old.
I've heard of that one.
Alexandria, Library of Alexandria. It's in like Egypt or something. I'm probably butchering it, but
I think that's Egypt.
they think that like the how they built the pyramids was like written in these old texts in that book or in that library, because there's like it was the largest library in the world, and it just like got decimated in like a storm, or it got like raided and they burned all the books or some shit like that. Like that could fucking maybe not like that because it's all not in one place, but
That was part of
but in theory
the
it's
end
all
of National Treasure. They find the scrolls from the Library of Alexandria.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean the
Like,
Nazis.
it's just
the Nazis tried to do it too, with books, with
Yeah.
with trying to erase history and knowledge and create a new timeline with new
Just
knowledge.
bizarre, man.
But
It's bizarre.
to your point, like I don't like the solar flares and all that. Like it's not a if.
It's a win.
It's a when.
Oh, we're going down this. Let's fucking.
Yeah, and here's why I think
We'll
it's
still
a,
get to this at some point.
here's why I think it's a when. Let me just situate here because this is a very deep conversation. The human race is so comfortable with its superiority that we think that rules and written texts and like guidelines and shit like that are going to be the thing that saves us. Like, don't do this, don't do that. If we do this, this won't happen. But it's like, hate to break it to you, we don't even know who fucking made us.
Yeah.
And if that fucking thing comes back and is like, I'm done with the experiment, nothing matters. Zero.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a shit if Isaac Newton's still alive. He's nothing. Nobody's anything.
Like if aliens came here, you think they're gonna be like, "Oh, where's your president?"
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Let me
they
talk
don't
to
give a
Like,
give a
set up a
shit.
meeting, please.
Yeah,
with all
this
six
does
of my
not
eyes.
Take me to your leader. Like,
Yeah.
you're either food or slave or whatever. Have you heard this? Have you heard this theory about like how we were created by aliens to mine for gold on this planet, which is why we value gold so much, and like this ancient shit, like it's always been about gold. It's always fucking been about gold, and we're like here to like mine the gold for the aliens.
And it's like a resource they need.
I guess that isn't anywhere else that they couldn't get, but
Do you want to know what I think we are?
please tell me.
I think we're food. And I'll tell you why I think we're food. I think that since we don't know what created us, and we do know that we die, and we don't know what happens to the being, the sense of being, when you die, I think, and scientists have shown that there's like there's like a magnetic pulse, or there's energy released from the body when you die. Like they've actually studied that from the brain. So I think what happens is quite possibly that energy is harnessed by something that we can't see or smell, that actually is like a power plant for some interdimensional thing, or quite possibly Earth was a breeding ground. And, I don't think it was a matter of like we had a plan. I don't think there was a predestined, like they need to get to, from A to Z in fucking 2 million years. It's sort of like, as long as they can reproduce and die, we can grab the energy or something. Like, I think that there's nothing that makes sense about us other than a means to an end. I don't know what that end is, but I think it's something along the lines, at least for me, I've kind of come to the conclusion that's like, and again, my conclusion is not like PhD level material. It's basically just me sitting around going, that's fucking one of the weirdest things I can think of. Right? Okay. So I just want to make sure.
For me.
Yeah. Nobody, like, I don't want anybody to think I'm, trying to
Turn this into a movie?
like, so I think there's an element of that, because it, like, I can't be wrong, because there's no right way to describe this, or there is no answer. So I think that we are quite possibly, food, and there's never been any explanation as to what happens. Now, I also find something interesting about, not to get into like life after death, but they did recently. There was some scientists that studied an older gentleman as he died, and they found that the part of the brain that creates memories was the most active part of the dying process. And it got me wondering,
Like the whole life flash before your eyes thing.
yeah, but it got me wondering if, like, what if when we're built, we are archiving subliminally? We don't even know it, but like you're actually taking like bits and pieces of your life and you're storing it so that it's like it's to ease. It's like it's a mechanism to ease the last moment so that you can appreciate why you had what you had. And whatever created us knew that. So they basically gave us an archive that plays upon your death. Which means that intelligent design is most likely, it's plausible. It's also possible, right? I mean, that we've seen that. But it kind of blows my mind that like that could be a thing. Because if that's the case, like that's not lizard brain stuff. That's not evolution. That's design.
Yeah.
There's no amoebas coming from the sea. There's none of that. There's no God element. There's intelligent design. There's a reason why.
Well, Jesus always did say.
Wait, but wouldn't that say there's empathy? If that exists and when you're dying, you're getting your life flashing behind before your eyes as an archive of everything that you've lived or all the things that you've done. God help you or Ted Bundy. What are you going to see?
Oh,
but fuck. So it's like that is a mechanism that was designed for us, which means that something has empathy for the thing it created. I find that to be fascinating, if that's the case. Now, it was just based on a study, but it made me think, like, is there more? Like, that goes against my, like, well, I guess they could still eat us, but then, like, appreciate, they could eat our souls, but still appreciate us, so they gave us this thing while we're dying. But, like, could we have been completely created? I mean,
why not?
It doesn't make any sense that we weren't.
I'm going to poke and prod your theory.
Do it, please.
Are you saying we were created, like, is this like a denying evolution type deal? Or
no,
when do you think we were created?
Well, so let's say,
right after we branched off of chimps?
No.
Or
I think that when I say created, I mean, if you want to, because I can put evolution and creationism, to me, I can make it work, which I can say, all right, this isn't like we started with this thing and then it became this thing we had no idea it was going to be. They could have easily designed something that had evolution in mind. Absolutely. That is
from like the very
from the very get-go.
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense. Like, how do you evolve from something that's atomic, right, to something that has a rib cage to protect your organs?
It's
fucking wild. Not really.
It doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And again,
crazy.
We're going with like earthly sense. Out there, that might be just the fucking norm.
Yeah.
Right. But the poking and prodding is great because where I'm coming at it from is purely like, it doesn't matter what we started as, it's what we're going to end up as. Right. And if that's humans, it doesn't matter if it's like amoeba to a monkey to a human, or, Neolithic
whatever
stuff to,
yeah.
Like if there's that whole evolution of people, the idea is we would get here. Like evolution was part of the creation. That makes sense.
Do you think they would wait this long?
I don't, as long as there's death.
Got it. Okay.
But I mean, again, that's
no. You're good. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
But it's just a thought, because I still want to know why. Like I want to know why,
we're here.
Why we're here. And we went left turn. We basically took mono knee and are just going like this. I know. Yeah, I'm sorry, but like it makes it's just something that like I feel goes into kind of what you're talking about earlier.
Dude, so have you seen this James Webb Telescope picture
I'm
thing?
fascinated by it.
Yeah. Have you seen like the comparison
video
of of how big it is?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Okay. Well, we're going to feel really gross right now. So
it's honestly
this is
fascinating.
Let's see. Let's see.
To think to take a telescope, right, and to shoot it way the fuck out into space to see further into space is like amazingly. What? That's so smart. Like, that makes sense.
I can't see this. See, James Webb Telescope image comparison. No, there's a video. Maybe it's this one. Oh god, is this going to be super fucking long? I hope not.
Oh, I saw.
But was that?
I think I've only seen stills.
On July 11th,
I haven't seen like any videos made from it.
Oh, shut up. Okay.
I like his accent though.
So what are we actually seeing in this new deep field
I want
image?
There's one where like the size where he like
of the universe.
This isn't it.
Before
I'm
we
sorry,
get stuck
guys.
into comparing the images.
No, but
let's
while you're
first
looking
get
for that-
Yeah, because I really do want to see it.
It's isn't it fascinating? I think we talk about this in another podcast.
Probably.
We might have, but the fact that like you're getting a better glimpse into like time to go back, like, and to think if you could go.
So what are you seeing, like 2 billion years in the past?
Yeah,
Like,
but wouldn't that be crazy if like you could jump, because time travel is like right in front of you. Like
Right.
if you could get to one of those stars, right? Then couldn't you ostensibly see Earth's trajectory? Like what happens?
oh,
If you're there, that means
Right.
that you're gonna essentially. That means that you would have taken you so long to get there that this wouldn't be here.
Right.
It would be you'd be seeing like into the past, right?
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna
Just assuming that points of origin, like wherever you are, is going to be the past wherever you jump to, because
yes,
those
wherever you jump to is going to be the past.
because
Yes.
those are those are stars like in their infancy or
Right.
stars that have exploded.
I think a majority of them are stars that have exploded.
Yeah,
right?
and I just find that so fascinating that we can see that because of light and how it travels, and that like you're getting a glimpse of that. It's
Space is wacky. We did a whole like 3-hour episode, just us two on space.
Yeah,
and it was fun.
Okay, I'm really hoping this can be it. I should have fucking had this pulled up. Oh, is this some dork?
He's watching a plane.
This one's okay. It's like zooming in like crazy. God damn it. There was one that really made my head spin. They like took the picture and then they like zoomed like out and like brought it in. And I mean, because they say it's like the size of a grain of sand if you held it up to the sky. That's how big it is.
Oh yeah.
So like if the picture was here, it like zooms out and you're like looking at this tiny speck and there's all of that information in that picture in literally a fucking grain of sand if you were to hold it up like this in the sky.
Yeah.
right.
Which
Infinity is just like
But it's. I was actually listening to a comedian talk about it, and he's like, "Life makes no fucking sense."
I've seen this.
The Pete Holmes one,
Yeah.
it's great the way he explains it. He's like, "There's infinite nothingness, and it's expanding." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the expansion part is what freaks me out, because you don't even know enough to know, like the layman, like to know where the expanse starts and
Yeah.
what you haven't discovered. Like
how far can you expand?
yeah, and I don't even. That's the thing that is so crazy about space, is that like we're out there just floating in it.
Yeah.
Like we're
Fucking nothing.
Yeah,
floating.
and that like at any point, well, it's happened before. Like an asteroid could just be like, "Hey, so there's an asteroid that's going to hit Earth in like 80 years.
But isn't it weird that?
There's nothing we can do about it. We're all going to die."
But like it hasn't, and yet, but it has.
Yeah,
Because,
Yeah.
but like they say that a what is a fly or gnat, like one of them has especially 24 hours, but it feels like to them forever.
Eternity. Yeah.
Because time, as far as we know, is a complete construct of humans. It's not even, it's an observation. So I think it's really interesting if you were to crash Earth into another planet and you saw people and you're like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock, I gotta eat. They're like, what is what? And you're like, yeah, oh my God. And they're like, who? Like imagine all of these things.
Oh my what?
Yeah, like they would not know any sort of terrestrial
Yeah.
things. It would just all made up.
and then to go back to like us being here and shit. I've heard this a bunch of times, and it's crazy. Like, if you were to like chronologically lay out like how long Earth has been here, just Earth from like January 1st to December 31st, like the beginning of the Earth to now, humans would be 1159 December 31st.
Yeah.
Like, we've been here for nothing.
For nothing,
The
yeah.
Earth has been here. That's just Earth. The Earth's only been here for what?
4.5 billion, something like
4.6
that.
billion or something like that. That's crazy. And then the light that they think is in this James Webb is like from the beginning of the universe. Like that's in theory what they think. Another weird thing to think about that I don't quite understand that I saw a TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot.
TikTok University.
So the universe, like, right? Stick with me, and I'm asking, I guess. They think it went like this, right? Okay, so if it went like this, right? For people listening, I have my hands in like a circle-ish. And we're here. Wouldn't we know which direction to look to get back to the beginning? But if we go out and we're like, well, if we go that way, we go backwards to the beginning. But also, if we go that way, we go backwards to the beginning.
Are you saying we as in
like if we look, like, oh, we're looking this way, like which direction do we know to look to go backwards to like see this shit? Why is it that you can?
If they're looking in a direction as far as they're looking in length, or they're looking at, because they can tell by how bright the star is as to when it blew up or whatever, as to how old it is, and if they trace that and what they think is how old the universe is, I think that's how they're making the correlation between that being an old star.
Yeah, my understanding has always been about the hue of the star, like
the infrared spectrum.
Yeah, like that's how it's a good question. I don't know that that's something anybody like is like. How do we know which direction is where it came from?
Yeah,
or or whatever you want to know about where things started. But is that the relevant question? Like, is that the question that you want to ask, or is it like, when did it happen? And not so much direction, because if you knew when it happened, right, you would be able to jump to a specific spot in the universe and see it happen. But then, could you jump to pre-Big Bang?
Yeah.
Because is that universe or galaxies? Like, did anything else exist outside the Big Bang?
Yeah. Or is this multiple universes? Or are we just
or is there fucking multiverses?
It's goddamn.
So
we're gonna be here forever.
Yeah, I mean, like, have you ever thought about the fact? Have you ever thought about, like, maybe if there was like a multiverse, that there's actually this conversation happening exactly
I would hope so.
In a dimension that we can't see, but it's right here.
You're fucking Tyler's world up right
now.
No,
but it's just like, it's literally just it's the same conversation in a totally different dimension that we can't see, but that's just because of how it works. Like, we're only wired, for example, so let's say we're on a band or something, like we can only understand each other if I can pick up this frequency, you can pick it up, then I know you exist. But if you were born like at a band, you wouldn't know anything. But what if you could see the other? What if you existed in our universe but could see the other one? That'd be fucking nuts.
Almost like how certain birds, we're back to birds now.
I like it.
See like different colors, not only like different, but colors that like we don't even know exist, because
right.
It's not even like, it's not like a dog where they see black and white. Like, they see ultraviolet. Like, we don't know, or they see colors that like we don't even know how to describe. Like, describe the color purple to me.
Right.
It's purple.
It's purple. It's
the only reason we know purple is because you agree and I agree that that's purple.
Okay, I think about this all the fucking time.
Who decided what purple was?
No. What's another thing like colors where we all agree, but it could in theory all be different to us? What's another thing like that? I don't know. I'm trying to think of it all. Like, it seems like an easy thing. Like, oh yeah, like sounds.
I was gonna say sound. Like,
I would say that. I mean,
I guess maybe sound.
But
like, how would we all hear differently? I guess if my ear is different than your ear is different than your ears.
Yeah, I think the senses are the most obvious, because it's not like you can't be like math blind.
Right. Yeah. Like, we can all touch this and all agree that it's hard. It's not a soft material.
Yes.
For a second, I didn't realize you were touching the table. I was looking over here and
after this conversation,
what is he talking about?
It's the same.
It's like he's just touching the table.
Who knows?
Thank God. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's anything other than your senses that could be different from person to person. Yeah. And I would say that sight is, that because my son is colorblind, and so
my dad's colorblind.
He doesn't. It's so fucking crazy because he's like, green is yellow.
Yeah.
And
what if we are seeing it?
Yeah, what if we're wrong?
What if we're fucking it up? Because he's got it,
Yes, because he would agree with somebody else who is colorblind that yellow is green and green is yellow. Like, he would, and that's what's fucking weird to me. But like math, you can't do that. Science is observational. it'd be hard. You could observe that somebody is seeing things differently than the other person, and that can be your fact. But I don't know, man. Like, I just hope it's not a big joke. Like all of it.
Like we're all just playing pretend.
Fucking right back to the beginning. Yeah, I love it. That was a great segue. Like, but,
mono me.
But actually though, like, what if it is just pretend? And we just, and like, here's another thing too.
Probably is.
Like the Fermi Paradox. You heard of this?
No.
Like, so basically, I think he's a scientist, but there's a scientist that's like, look, if there is intelligent life out there, where'd it go? Like, why is it not here?
Because we suck.
Well, here's another thing too. And I firmly believe this, whatever created us, like I have this idea that we're food. I honestly think whatever created us, and this sucks so hard to think. Oh, it's anxiety inducing, is gone. Oh. Like they left.
They left us here.
They're not coming back. So imagine they go on a mission, right? And they're like, we're going to fly over. It's Prometheus, the movie. Or not Prometheus. Yeah, it's Prometheus.
Yeah.
We drop this dude here, this specimen, and it populates and creates Earth, right? Like, basically creates people and it flourishes. And we're here on a podcast. And then, like, at the inception of that, they're flying back and a fucking asteroid takes out the plane.
Ooh.
They're never coming back. Like, no one's ever going to check up on the experiment.
And then we're going to create a different creator in God.
Well, it was like, that's the thing. Like, had they not crash landed or after like something happened to them and they came back, like everything would be answered. Maybe that was the point. Maybe they were going to come back and like, I don't know, their fucking world exploded.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that seem plausible that like, that's why we haven't heard from anybody? Why would it take this long?
It's not any more unrealistic than anything else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's, to me, it's like they just aren't here because they're not there. Like, nobody's home.
Yeah.
To give your mind at ease. If they have the technology to create us and fly here, they probably have the technology. They probably have technology to avoid asteroids. I would imagine. That seems like a pretty pivotal part in traveling through space. If they're traveling through space.
Yeah, but like, I mean, we can travel through fucking the air and planes crash.
We travel through space too.
Boats. I mean, it's not. I get what you're saying, and I totally like. It's what you're saying is totally valid, and like it's.
But like you're fucking wrong. But that's fine.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Like
I am.
There's certainly an aspect of this that is like very unnerving, in that we could absolutely be alone forever, and my whole idea of us being food is like no one's eating it.
Yeah.
Like no one's taking the souls.
Waste.
Yeah, like there's just a big fucking soul,
Soul factory.
Yeah, just going up into the, the stratosphere, atmosphere, all this, and it's just like hanging out up there. And no one's doing anything because I think that maybe they would have come back by now. But like, what if it was even as much as like little Johnny Alien and little, Ricky Alien took out the alien spaceship for a spin, and Mom said, "Don't go past that galaxy," and they did, and they fucking made us and didn't tell anybody about it. And then they went home
and grew up,
and then they're
like, don't tell anyone about that time.
Or they had a fucking civil war, and no one ever came. Like we could be alone, guys. Could be fucking bad.
I think about it all the fucking time.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, like believing in God sounds so much better than believing that nothing fucking happens after you die. not to like bring it down, but it is
an easier sell.
I can't get there. I can't get to the God thing. It's
hard.
But it's an easier sell.
Some sort of afterlife. Like I gotta get there somehow, man. Like I gotta.
Yeah, it's a lonely. It's a fucking lonely thought, and I get the whole like clamoring is probably the wrong word, but I feel like I'd be clamoring because I'd be like, "There's nothing else. Jesus sounds great. God is awesome."
Yeah,
because like a lot of people end up religious as they're dying, and that's like, look, I would never be like, "You pussy, you fucking." I knew you'd turn. Like I would never do that to somebody. Like death is like I don't want to. It's like something I heard. My dad told me that someone told him one time that they're not afraid of death, and they just don't want to be there when it happens. I was like,
I think you said that last time.
Yeah, and I was
think about it all the fucking time.
Yeah, dude, it's just something that fucking has stayed with me forever. Like I use that in the sense that like, yeah, I mean, I'm cool, death. Like do your thing, but just maybe not when I'm around. you know? And so when I think about like somebody who's on their way out, I still would never be like, it's wrong to believe in something that I don't believe in as somebody who's not in your situation.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know that that's going to get you the keys, but
I don't know that it's not either.
yeah, but like, is it also innate in us to believe in either monotheistically or polytheistically, like either, you know, one or many gods, and that's okay? Like that's who we are. But at some point, don't you think it was just all kind of like an explanation for stuff that nobody knew how to explain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because no one's coming back. I don't think. I mean,
Not anytime soon if they are.
well, here's another question too. Like if you're, you know, if you're waiting for, like, I have a lot of friends that are Jews, like they're just waiting for the Messiah. Like, what's he doing? No, I'm serious
Yeah.
question. Like,
He's answering emails.
No,
Like, what do they think?
Yeah, like, I
what
mean-
do they think he's doing? Like, oh, he'll come back when
when he's
he's
finished
off the shitter, or like when he's
yeah, like
maybe he can hear again, or
how busy is?
Oh, you're the
is-
Messiah.
that's me.
Yeah, like how busy is it up there? And a genuine question. Like, I know you're busy. I'm sure you've got so much going on.
But how busy?
Yeah, but like busy enough to let everybody sin, not sin, get off track, flood, die, I mean, horrible things.
Let people say they can talk to you and
Yeah.
manipulate people.
You
yeah.
could come and just clear it up,
Just
even
real
just for a
quick.
day.
Give me 40 minutes.
Yeah, like-
even like a tight 10.
You get a lunch, right?
Yeah,
Like,
a luncheon with Messiah seems doable.
I think you're right. 10 to 15 minutes
The
tops.
Pope's got plenty of fucking time, and he's here.
It's
He's
true.
got to get on a plane or like a little car and drive around.
Speak through
You
him.
could just. We think.
Yeah. But like
probably.
the Jewish faith makes more sense to me than Christianity, because they didn't buy off on the stranger from this out of the sand that said I'm your guy.
Stranger out of the sand.
Yeah. It's like, I'm your dude. I build shit. Never mind my past. What is he, a Jedi? Don't never mind my past.
Yeah.
You don't get to fucking know what I did.
Jesus is forgiving.
You're like, what? Of all the sins, wouldn't like not like divulging your fucking past be one of them? It's just a. I don't want to get into it. It's a weird story. So I believe the idea that like might have been you had the wrong guy, right? And we're just waiting for that. And then you run into the other conundrum of like, well, fucking what's taking so long?
Yeah. Like,
You know?
if you got there and you were like, cool, I believe in
Yeah.
this God, I believe in whatever. Why?
Where's
yeah,
he
like,
at?
yeah, I've done it. Like, am I supposed to feel something? Do I get
Yeah.
like a card in the mail? Do I
Nothing.
get like a little Boy
a
Scout
members
pin?
club,
Yeah,
like-
like a Boy Scouts honor, whatever that is.
I just want to know, man, what is it? What was the catalyst? What was the genesis? And I know we've covered this territory before, but it is interesting now more than ever, where, you know, people are becoming increasingly divided and violent. Mm-hmm. And if religion cannot be a unifier, then I guess the only unifier is violence.
Wow.
Not something I want to
Print
endure.
that. That's pretty.
It scares me.
I mean, that's really true, man.
Is that
really
where we're
is
heading
true.
though? Like, it seems like that's where
If
we're
not already there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys think not to get, do you think we'll see a civil war in our lifetime?
I don't think so.
Not a proper, and I hate saying proper, but like, you know, not like a,
Muskets and stuff like that.
yeah. Well, we won't
Although
see
I
that.
might be here for that. That might be kind of sick. Sign me up, dude.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Put me a couple lines back, though. I don't need to be the front guys kneeling. Not for me.
Can I be the
Not
flute
for
guy?
me.
Yeah.
I'm all about the flute guy.
Oh, the drums. I'll do the drums.
Well, I'm already out because I got a bad knee. So
Oh.
I mean,
you didn't make the cut.
I'll be in the fucking back, dude.
You'll be helping all the women make
Yeah.
bread.
I'll help. I can stream it because, you know, we're Americans. We will probably watch our own Civil War on
Dude, that's
Twitter.
going on.
But also,
QAnon.
you're gonna need to pay for it.
Can you imagine that? Shh, hold on. Yeah. Oh, yes. The right is they're bombing. Oh, they bombed them. They just bombed them. Oh, here comes the
Nice.
left. Here comes the left. Oh, like
Oh, fuck, another paywall.
Yeah.
Get my credit card.
yeah. Can you imagine that? They cut to a commercial.
Yeah.
Selling ammunition and guns.
Procter and Gamble.
Yeah. Fuck.
we
Disneyland
start
is
this?
a hideout. No, go ahead. What are we starting?
Oh, I meant the Civil War.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
We can start the draft too, though.
oh, serious question. I've been meaning to ask.
Okay.
This is not a self-invitation thing, but are you going to do anything like fun and spooky for the season that's upcoming?
Oh, I was creating.
I can smell the pumpkins.
I was creating a logo for us, a Halloween logo.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Because if you have room, I'm available. I just wanted to say because
room.
no, I just want to because that was probably, I'm not even kidding, in my top 10 most fun evenings of my life. Wow. Serial killer draft.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry.
No, it was-
How are we gonna top it now, though?
I couldn't.
I got it.
My wife couldn't.
you got it?
She was like, "Shut up about it."
Yeah.
I was like, "I had so much fun. You don't believe it."
I got it. Here's what we can do. We can do a cult draft.
Ooh, that's good.
Or cult ranking. We could have different. I'm telling you, that's
surprise
it.
me. I'm in.
That's it.
That sounds great.
That does sound good.
That sounds actually very scary. Culture's scary.
They are.
Yeah.
Culture. Really
That's a whole
scary.
different conversation.
It is.
That we'll maybe save for that.
Yeah, we'll
day.
save that one because that we could go another 4 hours with that.
Yeah.
Should we dress up?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, there's a good.
We dress up like a cult leader.
I mean, to do a Halloween episode
gotta
in
do-
costume would
Yeah.
be really fun.
it would.
Really fun.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm here for it, and it was just awesome. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That
it was really cool.
Every time we've had you on, this has like been. I know we're like acting like we're wrapping it up, but we're not. We got,
No, we're not.
I guess
I mean-
we got one more thing to do, but
Yeah, but it's just I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that if you do that, you knew I was in because I think I'm gonna. This is totally a tangent, but I think I'm gonna go big this year and try to get a couple of animatronics at home.
oh, look at you.
It's too windy last year.
It was so windy, and I think it's probably gonna be an issue this year. But I'm gonna try a couple of techniques that I picked up online with some stakes and some
I've heard
brackets.
they're pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get metal ones. I've been rocking like these plastic, almost like a polycarbonate
Yeah.
ones they're not very good. But I was trying some metal stakes. But anyhow, there's I was thinking about switching out like this is totally a tangent, but like switching out like my graveyard for like a bayou graveyard, where kind of like like more like swampy, eerie. They got a couple new animatronics.
Creatures
this
in the
year.
Black Lagoon. Or?
Type of more like it's hard to more just bayou, like like the skeletons have like leaves on them and like moss and stuff, because there's like a bayou kind of like theme that's coming out from Spirit this year. And I just
What store is Spirit taking over this year?
it's
always fun.
The Blue Oaks one is already they're showing you now. It's
Oh,
I forget what was there before, Steinmart or something. Maybe
Old Mart.
It's as long as it's there.
Like, I don't care where it
Yeah,
is.
like when it's not there, that would be bad. Do you ever frequent Spirit, like at least once
no.
during Halloween time? No, it's all right.
we should make it a thing. We should all three go.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool.
Yeah,
Just-
we buy like a couple little tires and we do the pod. Oh, that'd be fun.
yeah, like it's a good thing to do every year just to kind of get in the spirit of
It's
the
funny.
spirit.
Me and Emily were doing a walk with the child, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna have to get Halloween like decorations and stuff so she can like partake." I was like, "Jordan probably has a few extra."
Yeah, and I told you on the podcast that was actually going to happen. You're going to have to make a choice of like Christmas or Halloween.
I'm 100% for Halloween
with
over
the
Christmas.
kid. Yeah, and it's, kids love it, even if it's an inflatable,
Yeah.
fun thing. It's
Your
just,
kids are more into
yeah. They're-
Halloween than
They don't have a choice.
No, I mean if they didn't, they'd be grounded. I mean it's very simple.
Jesus always said.
Yeah, it's exactly. This is for
That
Corinthians.
dude, that's gonna
says a
start
lot.
being like my best comeback. Just say like, well, Jesus always said,
Yeah.
and then just like trail off. Like, what did he say?
It's Jesus always said, if you don't like Halloween, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's-
it's loosely
Well,
translated.
that's
but
how I
what-
interpret it, right?
That's what it means.
Yeah, I'm an Old Testament guy. You wouldn't know.
Try this one from Acts. Shut up. It's like these are real things. This is the gospel. You have to like Halloween.
This guy says a
Oh
lot.
my God, he says a lot.
Blabbermouth.
Yeah, exactly. So many quotes.